This is a quick informative video just to instruct people on how the servers are going. Apologies for my voice, I am very sick. There is going to be multiple servers. The Omega Flight is in fact the beta server or the original global launch that was in Canada only, kind of the regional launch, all right? The Omega Flight is not going to be the main server. There's going to be an America East, there is going to be an America West server as well, and then there's going to be servers for Europe, etc. If you are wondering, is everybody's data going to transfer from the Omega Flight? For instance, if I log into my Omega Flight account and we look at my characters, are my characters that I've paid to win and had a huge advantage of the previous server going to be able to transfer? The actual answer to this is 100% no. There is no transfer potential between anybody that was on the previous server going into new servers. Any server that is created upon the global launch, which will once again be in 3 days on the 25th, available on August 25th, the Omega Flight will be retained, and the original Omega Flight, I can still play on that. All the beta players can still play on the Omega Flight server, and people can still join that Omega Flight server as well. So newer players can still join the original server if they want to. However, the servers of themselves are going to be separate, meaning if I log into the game with Storm, I can't see you if you're on America West, if I'm on Omega Flight. So make sure you and your friends start on exactly the same server, or else you're not going to have potential to play together. Now, keep in mind the Omega Flight server, if you do choose to start on Omega Flight, has been going for several months, and lots of us have been playing a while and already have plenty of power and plenty of characters at 100, etc. Okay, so you will be at a disadvantage, especially considering there's weekly rewards, etc., and there's already alliances and people set up into the game. It's not really going to be in your best interest to join on that original server. Now, another quick question people are going to have is, which is the first 4 characters I should select when I'm starting the game? I'm going to very quickly let you know the character who levels the quickest in the game is Doctor Strange. So if you are attempting to get to level 100 first, quickest, easiest, I do believe Doctor Strange will do that, or Storm. Storm was my first person as well. The reason I say both of these is they're very strong at AoE damage, and the majority of the quests to give the most experience are go out and kill 30 of these, collect 25 of these from killing the people, etc. So you need AoE moves. Doctor Strange has the largest AoE ultimate in the game. It's very busted, as well as his basic attacks themselves are AoE, and just tagging targets will help you count as credits even if you're not in the party. So there's a bunch of people farming, which there will be on global launch. Doctor Strange can just basic attack, hit everyone, and get credit for all of those kills and level quicker than everyone else who's just using melee, etc. Okay. As it stands, Star-Lord is still sort of underwhelming, so he's probably the bottom one to start with if you are attempting to level quickly. Storm's going to be great. Spider-Man is insane PvP, and if you want to go right into PvP, you could play Spider-Man. Iron Man is amazing in PvP too, but he's kind of what I would consider mid-game to extreme late game. Like his late game isn't great. His extreme late game is very good, and his mid game is very good too. So it's at the 90 percentile he starts to fall off, but then as he gets really crazy, some of his slashing moves can just one-shot people. Captain America is a great person, and I do believe he's one of the best characters in the entire game at the higher level. Captain Marvel is going to be the person you're going to focus on if you're looking for single target damage and to really rely on the ultimate ability, though she has both melee and range, so she can feel kind of weird going in and out. We've already talked about Star-Lord, so Black Widow is going to be your single target PvP and PvE DPS, as well as very busted type of character. Has a lot of really busted mechanics in it. And don't be discouraged, because the first week you should see a ton of Black Widows and Doctor Stranges dominating. Then all these other characters are going to start to balance out. By the second week, you're seeing the Spider-Man, once they start getting their equipments and dodge rate, etc. up, are going to start dominating then. And then you're probably going to start seeing the late game people like Captain America, Iron Man, maybe even some Black Widow, etc., really dominating at the mid to late game too as well. So that's kind of the general synopsis on what you need to know going into the game. And one thing I want to let you guys know real quick, when you do select your hero, there is a couple things to keep your eye out for. I'm going to play free to play, starting on a new server on America West, just to be able to get the good ping and all that. However, if you guys are not going free to play, there's a pack that's $3.99. I believe you get it at level 10. It's one of the best values. It'll give you just a full set of 3-star gear, which you can just use to get through the campaign. And the fastest way to level actually in this game for a fact is going to be doing all of the primary missions. Then once you get to Midgardia on out, you start doing the side missions as well, because the previous side missions don't really give that great of experience. They can give as low as even just 10 experience, which is even lower than just killing a single mob. So there can be reasons not to do the side quests in the beginning. However, if you're free to play, do everything all the way from the beginning, because you have to in order to progress. You need to be 55 squad rank to beat the game, 52 if you want to get to level 100, for instance, okay? So those are the ranks that are required. And you can see with Doctor Strange, if I actually go to my records and I go to activity log, you can see here that if I go to side missions, etc., these ones are all done in the activity log, but they're not done on the character. That's why they say location, etc. I can still go and locate these and actually be able to do the side missions. Whereas on the Hydra Empire, etc., side missions, you look, I can locate. I haven't done any of these either. Starting with Midgardia is when I actually start doing the side missions on Doctor Strange. And keep in mind, you're gonna have to do all the side missions anyway for every region eventually, just so you can unlock and get your free 5-star cards, which I'll show you. You get free gems, free squad rank experience. But when you get everything all the way maxed out, you get a free 5-star card too, which is gonna be highly important for free to play people. So this is, in my personal opinion, what you want to focus on first. Pick your right character. Make sure you're right on the right server is your first thing. Then you're going to pick the right character. Then you're going to get your first level 100. And then you're going to go back and start doing the side missions and everything you missed to be able to acquire everything. And the whole time you're doing that, anytime you hit a squad rank issue where you're gonna hit like squad rank 27 and then you can do more missions or anything like that, you just start one of your other 4 free characters it gives you in the beginning. Then you continue those missions again until you can go back on your main because you're higher squad rank now, and you can then continue as well. So do keep in mind that if you get stuck, it's not a paywall, it's a grind wall. You can grind past it. The game is entirely free to play. And I do recommend playing this game free to play. I'll repeat again, I do not recommend spending any money on this game. You can see I don't go for records at all anymore. I've given up competing. I had spent $3,000 in the first month and was able to get rank 1 and a bunch of this stuff just to be able to get rewards, etc. I'll tell you now, the rewards aren't worth it. You can actually look at the reward list. It's 14 green boxes for rank 1. The one that's really not worth it is like, look, if you want to be number 1 your whole server, for instance, and you have to be a Black Widow or whatever, you want to be number 1 on it, look, it's 700 gems. That's why a lot of people aren't even doing it. It's not really even worth it at the moment, in my personal opinion. You can see Black Widow's number 1, Storm, and then you have an Iron Man there in the Omega War. Look, Iron Man once again. Iron Man's pretty good. Black Widow once again. But if you look here, the rewards, it maybe rank 1 rewards are worth it because you get a badge, and the badges are important, but 1,300 gems. I mean, we're talking like $20 worth of rewards, okay, for a full week. The Dark Zone, don't even bother trying to compete. I mean, it's just going to be a giant beginning. What you want to do is grind up and just worry about getting all your heroes to level 100 in the beginning, getting all the side missions done. Just grind, okay? Don't worry about, I want to compete and all. Don't worry about any of that. Doesn't matter. Just grind, okay? Pure grind. Get all your heroes to level 100. Get your squad rank up to 100 plus. Get all the side missions done. Get 100% of everything done before you even bother working on this, because people are going to be power leveling the whole time, and it's going to go all the way up to million, million and a half power, etc. And when you get there, at that point, once you get there at that point, then it becomes even more ridiculous trying to compete with people, and it just becomes a gear war, basically. So that's my personal opinion on the game. It's going to be a really fun game. It's a great game. You should definitely play it. It's worth downloading, installing, and I'll be doing more videos walking you guys through and everything you need to go. So do subscribe to this channel to see more. Love y'all, and I'll see you on the next video.